Well, that's an important question. And the important question should be answered by another question: whose liberty? And their major theories of liberty say that we need to maximize liberty as long as there's not major infringement on individual choice. And in terms of maximizing liberty, and in that kind of a framework, you need to consider the liberty, the freedom to stay away from disease that parents want to have of children who actually do get vaccinated. Remember, infectious diseases are just that, infectious. So your behavior impacts my child's health. So when this kind of a discussion is happening, where we are talking about liberty, the liberty argument is equally valid in terms of fairness of the overall social contract. And the social contract is that the parents who do the right thing by getting their children vaccinated has as much right to liberty, to freedom from vaccine preventable diseases as someone who's making their choice on decidedly non-factual information. So we should keep that in mind. And we should also keep in mind the fact that when a parent is keeping their child up to date for vaccines, they are going through a procedure that has an opportunity cost in terms of work time. So in the US, you have to make 5 visits to your doctor's office. Even if the vaccines are free, you go through the doctor's office, you fill out the same forms or similar forms again and again, you take time off of work, and so on and so forth, to keep not your own child protected, but it contributes to the overall community immunity. On the other hand, if someone tries to opt out of vaccination, I think it's very reasonable for them to go through procedures that are at least partially as onerous as those that people who contribute to community immunity or herd immunity are going through. So that's one thing. The other thing is, one way you take care of the liberty and justice arguments is by having procedural justice. So procedural justice warrants that we have an inclusive process, a democratic process. And that, from my perspective, actually gives more leeway and more moral authority to democratic governments, or governments that are not only democratic, but also have democratic processes. For example, citizens' juries in France. Because then a law is not something that is based on a decree from a dictator, no matter how benevolent or otherwise they are. It's an expression of the collective will of a democratic society.